Today I want to talk about required minimum distributions, or RMDs. These are distributions that need to occur from retirement accounts starting at age 70 and a half, required by the government from either 401ks or traditional IRAs. Now, while technically you can delay your first RMD until the subsequent April, it's typically not advised because you'll have to double up in that year, and these are fully taxable distributions, so that probably won't be to your benefit. One key aspect of RMDs that I think is the most important to be aware of is the penalty for not taking them. So if you do not satisfy your RMD in a given calendar year, the penalty is 50% of your RMD, and that can be tens of thousands of dollars. So along those lines, we always recommend our clients satisfies their RMD prior to December of the year when it's required to be taken. Now, while we always track and make sure those RMDs are taken for our clients, if you're not our client, and let's say you get busy with the holidays, or worst case scenario, you unexpectedly pass away, that RMD still has to be taken by December 31st, and that's going to fall to your beneficiaries. And they may or may not be aware that it has to be taken, and if they are, they still have to go out, get a certified copy of a death certificate, fill out paperwork, and make sure that distribution occurs before the 31st. So it's going to be a really tight timeline to get and hit. So if you are actually a spousal beneficiary in that scenario, and that spouse either owned a 401k or a traditional IRA, you can roll that into your own IRA rollover. And if you're not 70 and a half yet, you can delay your RMDs on that asset until you turn 70 and a half. Now, if you're a non-spousal beneficiary, such as a child or a friend, you're going to have to start taking RMDs on that asset you inherit the year after the original account owner passes away, even if it's a Roth IRA. And typically, Roth IRAs are not subject to RMDs. But another exception is actually the Roth 401k. The Roth 401k is subject to RMDs, something you have to be aware of. So as far as strategies to delay or reduce these RMDs, I'll start listing a few. So as far as the Roth 401k, easy, simple strategy, year before you turn 70 and a half, roll that over into a Roth IRA. That will no longer be subject to RMDs on a go forward in perpetuity. Another one is something called there's an exception called the still working exception. If you continue to work after age 70, and as long as you're working the entire year and you either are a 5% or less owner of the company you work for, you can delay your RMDs in that 401k indefinitely. And something that works well in tandem if you're really focused on reducing your RMD is to actually roll over any traditional IRA asset into that 401k prior to turning 70 and a half. Another strategy, actually a really simple one, is just to contribute more to your Roth accounts during your working years. So when you're younger, maybe you're not working as much, focus on contributing to the Roth 401k or Roth IRAs. That will ultimately result in lower RMDs in the end. One big strategy that we actually use and recommend quite often is actually doing Roth conversions in low income years. And oftentimes high income earners think, well, that's not going to apply to me. But if they retire age 65 and then delay Social Security until age 70, which is a common recommendation, then there's this 4 or 5 year window where you can really utilize this strategy to great effect. An additional investment-related strategy is something called location optimization, where while you'd still be targeting the same overall portfolio risk profile, that traditional IRA and traditional 401k component of your portfolio would be more conservatively positioned relative to the rest of your portfolio. That will result in lower RMDs over a long period of time. Lastly, there is, if you are married to a spouse that is 10 or more years your junior, and you name them 100% beneficiary, primary beneficiary on your retirement account, you are actually subject to a different RMD table, which will reduce your RMDs by 15 to 20% per year relative to the normal rate. So while I'm not going out there and advocating that you go marry someone 10 years your junior, as that would actually trigger additional financial planning issues and complexities, that is one positive aspect of that situation. So my recommendation is to go out there, talk to a certified financial planner practitioner, and see if any of these strategies work for you.